line that is for colored hair. And some of you, most of you probably already know the line, but there can also be some of you that never heard about Alchemic before. So we'll do an introduction to Alchemic and also Alchemic Creative, which is an extension of the previous line we have inside. So before we're gonna move on today, we're gonna of course have a little bit of rules inside our classroom, because we need a little bit of rules in here. So first of all, you probably have noticed that on your cursor, if you take the cursor up to the screen, there come up different kind of icons, and there is one called the chat, because you have been muted in here, since it's easier for everybody to listen to me speaking without all the mics are on. So if you have any kind of questions during the presentation, I will stop after a few slices, and then I will go into the chat. And there's an icon with a text box, and that's the chat. And in there, you can write your question if you have any specific questions. So please do that as a communication. You can also write to each other if you want to say hi to each other. So of course, we recommend you to take some notes, because maybe you want to share with your colleagues. And then, of course, can be that there is some questions that I'm not capable to answer. I'm a hairdresser like you guys, so there could be some chemical factors maybe that you want to know that I'm not capable of answer back to you. But I will write your answer back in the Davines education, so you can always find your answer there. But anyhow, welcome to the virtual classroom today, and we're going to talk about sustainability, because as you first of all know, Davines is very sustainable in all aspects. So of course we have some recommendation for you guys, especially this time where we are all locked in at home, mostly around the world. So of course we try to, of course, always save electricity. So every time you leave a room or you don't need it, especially now where the lights starting to get better and better in the summer here, at least in Europe, we don't really need to have the light on. Remember also with the water, save water, because it's very precious, and we want to be sure that we have water for also the future generations. So please turn it off when you don't use it, especially now where you are at home maybe every day. You don't maybe need to take a shower every day, but you need to wash your hands a lot, because that's what they recommend from the government all over the world. So that's another way we maybe could save a little bit of water. We also recommend to reuse and recycle as much as possible, because the less waste we have, of course, we can take more care about the environment. So we have less pollution going into there. And then first of all, when we're home in this period where we cannot go out, we cannot, I'm based in Italy, so you might already know that here in Italy, we are not allowed to leave our houses. So we cannot do any kind of sport, we cannot go jogging and running, so we need to do something at home. So we really recommend you to take care of your body at home, because this is so important, especially here. For my case, I've been locked into my house now for this my 6th week at home. So it's a little bit strange not to you cannot go out and enjoy nature as we used to, right? So the agenda of today, I'm going to talk about who is Davines. We're going to, of course, discover Alchemic, and we're going to discover Alchemic Creative Conditioner. So who is Davines? First of all, Davines is a Italian company. It's a family company, and it was founded in 1983 by Mr. Gianni and Mrs. Silvana Bolatti. The company starts its journey as a research laboratory specializing in manufacturing for other brands for hair and skin. And actually, at that time, they also created a specific product, which is one you probably all of you maybe know from more inside, which is called oil, non-oil. And this is one of the original products that actually was made by Silvana Bolatti in the house at home. That's where I actually start to do all the manufacturing. So, of course, through the last many years, to be encouraged to use more and more natural derived ingredients. Of course, there have been some slightly changes to this product, but this was one of the first products that was ever produced in Davines, is the oil, non-oil from more inside. In '93, the Davines was born as a brand. So we, of course, here we talk about to have a product that was only for professional customers, so for the hairdresser and the professional market. As you're probably aware of, we are not in the mass market, we only deal with the professionals. In '96, we decided to come out with Comfort Zone, which is a second brand, and is a premier spa and high-end beauty salon brand. And the reason for that was because David Bollatti decided to have a total treatment for the whole body. So not just something for the hair, but also for the rest of your body. So that's why we come out with those two brands. We have office today in Parma and London, New York, Paris, Devon, and Mexico and Hong Kong. That's where you can find our main office. Most of those cities here, you can also find academies from Davines. We have a lot of certification in the company since we are, we can say, very concerned about the environment and to be sustainable as possible. We have joined different kind of cooperation. One is example the B Corporation, and the B Corporation is where we are committed to be very transparent in what we're doing and also thinking about inspiration for other brands. And the B Corp certification is where we can say is both for social things and is also for professional, of course. Talking about social things can be example now in Davines. We are based here in Parma in Italy, and we are very close to the highway. So David Bollatti, he decided to create what is called the Green Mile, to do something for the environment and to do something for people living in the society here. So we will plant trees along the highway, and the trees, of course, going to absorb some of the CO2 the cars are producing, but also going to produce new oxygen to the city. So we should have kind of protection going on that way around. B Corp Corporation is also for a company that want to inspire other people to do and to follow what they are doing already. So we hope, of course, through the B Corporation that we can inspire a lot of people around the world. They can be our provider, it can be customers like you guys, the hairdressers, that we can inspire them to join B Corp Corporation, and they will work the same way. And at the moment, we actually a lot of hairdressers start to be B certified because they like the idea. So we really encourage you all guys, if you don't know so much about B Corporation, please Google it and you will find more information about the B Corp. The whole company now, what we call the Davines Village, of course, since we opened up the new village, we have been very renewable in all our sources of energy. So we come, we can say all production inside the company, all our products are produced without any CO2. So those of you that maybe already have been to see Davines Village, you probably have noticed there's no chimneys, there's only fresh air, we can put it that way around, because we use only renewable energy when we do all the production of Davines product. FSC paper is a Forest Stewardship Council, and that's a certification we have for all our packaging when it comes to cardboard boxes with all kind of brochures we're using. We use only FSC certified paper. What does it mean? It means that this paper is coming from trees that have been planted just to become paper. So we don't use any kind of illegal cut down trees. As you know now, there's a lot of focus about, example, the rainforest in South America and Brazil, where they keep cutting down the trees. So those trees, of course, we're not interested to support this kind of things and use those for paper. So we use only FSC certified paper. Finally, we have the Slow Food Procedure. Slow Food Procedure is an organization here in Italy that started around 45 years ago, where they started to come up all the fast food brand. And the Slow Food Procedure was to go against the fast food, because they believe that slow cooked food is better than fast food. And they also start to help farmers that were producing specific ingredients, spices that was under threat of extinctions, to keep them, motivate them to farm those kind of products. And also some of those products have to be farmed in a specific way with old traditions, so we don't lose this kind of history. So that is all about the Slow Food Procedure. And the Slow Food Procedure, we are supported, example, we support them through, example, Davines Essential Hair Care, where each single ingredient inside Essential Hair Care is coming from a Slow Food Procedure, a farm here in Italy. Our purpose as a company, to be the best for the world, creators of good life for all, through beauty, ethics, and sustainability. So what does it actually mean? It means, example, that we want to always try to improve and do our best to become better as a company. You maybe have seen that sometimes we are changing few things in our products over the years. And why we're doing that is simply because when we can have a product or ingredients that is more natural compared to what we used to have inside the product, we do everything to become more and more green as a company. And of course, when we talk about doing things for the world, that means that we want, of course, to be sure that what we're doing is to improve the quality for everybody, and especially the nature. We want to take care of the nature and be more environmental friendly as a company. We think also it's very important when we create our products that there is a nice idea behind it, there is a concept, and there have to be experience for the final client, but also for the hairdresser, of course. And this is very important, and that's what I really, myself personally, why I joined Davines was because when we had the small histories about the product, we have the packaging that's very unique. We give some specific experience for the clients, for the consumer, which is very interesting. Of course, good life for all. That means that we want to be sure that everybody have a nice collaboration between working life, so professional life, and your private life. When there is a nice balance, we also, of course, feel better about ourselves, and we can encourage to take more care about ourselves as a person. And we think it's very important that everybody really think about this when you work, when you have your moment to have a better lifestyle together with your family. We, of course, as I said before, sustainability is one of the main pillars inside our statement, and we are doing everything to try to improve the quality of our product and the safety of our product every time and every day. It's a lot of work we have to do because we also have to take care of the biodiversity. As you know already now, nature is doing much better just the last few weeks compared to before, but of course it's not enough. So we can say this virus that we have at the moment is not, of course, the best thing that happened in the world, but for the nature there's been a big change, and I'm sure we all can agree to that the air have changed a lot just over the few weeks we've been locked in. So I really hope that we all can think about this. So when we start to open up around the world, I really hope that everybody have not forgotten the beauty we can admire at the moment from our apartments, our houses, but that we also take this in consideration when we start to go back to work. So maybe we can start to drive less and enjoy more the fresh air. Now we're going to do the introduction into the Alchemic, and I will just go into the chat for a second. So if there's anyone that have any questions, you can write in the chat. Please feel free to do that. And it seems you are all good so far. So I hope everything is fine for you and clear. So first of all, the concept of the Alchemic. Alchemic is not a new line. Alchemic is a line that was born, it's called alchemy, and it was taking inspiration from Plato. Plato was a Greek philosopher, and he was symbolized each of the four natural elements, so the water, the earth, the air, and the fire, with a geometric shape, so they were combined. And here we could see there was a nice combination to get this inspiration into the Alchemic line. You can see the front label. Unfortunately, here in my house, I don't have a product to show you. You can see behind me have a lot of other products, but I don't have Alchemic at home here. But you can see on some of the images, and you'll see a bit later, that the graphic design is on each bottle are different. So there was a nice connection here between also the hairdresser, because we work with shapes, right? So we have also a lot of geometric shapes. So now we have both colors, and we also have like the shape that we can work with. And the name Alchemic is coming from the Arabic word alchemic. And the alchemist was people that was hired by the pharaohs in the court to do a lot of research of richness for the pharaohs. Example, they were hired to create gold, which we already know now they never succeeded to make gold. They were also hired to give find an elixir to give life forever. And also, as we all know today, the pharaoh that unfortunately died like everybody else. So also here they didn't really succeed in those kind of things. But this was a little bit like the inspiration for the line here. I just saw there was somebody asking or writing in the chat. So I'll just go in the chat for a second to see there was nobody there. I'm just gonna go out here for a second, guys, because otherwise I cannot see here. I think you are. No, no. It seems everybody's good. Okay. So, why is Alchemic very interesting for the hairdresser? First of all, the consumer, they're looking for something to prolong the color service. They're also looking for something where they don't have to have it forever. That means something they can change slightly by themselves. They also want to be sure that they can also sometimes make a bit fun with the colors. So that means they want to also change sometimes the hair color at home. And this is an easy way to do it because you can, with the shampoo and the conditioner, you can actually go in and refresh your hair color, or you can go in and change slightly a little bit the color. Of course, it is a conditioner and a shampoo line we have to talk about here. So it's very temporary. It's not something that's going to last forever. But of course, there's the opportunity for the clients. They can actually go home and prolong the color, or they can go home and do some experiment at the same time. Alchemic, of course, is a very, we can say, very classic line because it's just a shampoo and conditioner, and that's why we, example, added the creative conditioner into the Alchemic that I'll talk about a little bit in a while. So first of all, what is very important is inside Alchemic, we don't use any kind of silicone, we don't have parabens, and we don't have sulfates. And just to be sure about the parabens and the sulfate, we don't use parabens and sulfate anymore in any of the shampoo or the conditioner inside the Davines range. This is very important for you to remember. We use just natural surfactants now, and natural surfactants, of course, are much more gentle compared to sulfates. Inside the shampoo, you find up to 97% of biodegradable ingredients. And you can see the natural derived ingredients we use here is around 88%. So this is one of the line that is very close to be as natural as possible. Also consider that we have like pigments in there to refreshing the color. So this is quite nice for this line. We can see here, there's also, as I said before, we use 100% natural derived surfactant inside to clean the hair. We also have vitamin B inside, and the vitamin B helps to give moisture to the hair, and also it can repair some of the damage that is on the hair at the same time. For the conditioner, you find also here, there's no silicone inside. They're also without parabens. And we use up to 98% biodegradable ingredients and 95% of natural derived ingredients. So you can see also here, it's very high, the percentage we have. And especially what I find is very interesting working for Davines, but also with about our product is how biodegradable they are. And when we talk about biodegradability, this is very important for us because that means we have less footprint when we are leaving this world. So this is super, super interesting for me as a stylist, because I think it's very important to consider what is the imprint or what is the impact everything we're doing in our personal life also can have for the future, right? We use jojoba oil to give the shine and also to give the softness, and there will be also your conditioner. So here you can see it's not a silicone that's going to give you this kind of effect on the hair, which is really, really nice. You will also find now, since we have relaunched Alchemic, that we have now more pigments inside, and we have actually added up to 50% more pigments, so you have a better longevity, and you can actually better refresh the color just by using the conditioner from Alchemic. Packaging, of course, we follow still here the neutral packaging, so neutral CO2. So we compensated the packaging. If there's any kind of CO2 in the production with the packaging, we compensate by planting trees around the world. And right now, Davines have started to join a new project, and that is in Ethiopia, where we start to help local area to support them to start to get back the trees, so actually work on the biodiversity, so try to make nature back again what it used to be. You can see here we use air PET plastic. What does it actually mean? It is recycled plastic. So both the bottles and the jars are recycled plastic we're using. This is very important because then also here we can avoid any kind of petrochemicals when we do this way around. The labels are made of PE and it's green, so bio-PE is called. And what does it mean? It means actually it's produced from sugarcane. So from sugarcane means also here again, we don't have any kind of petrochemicals when we come to develop this kind of type of plastic. This is the range you can see we have in the family of the classic, we can say the classic Alchemic. You can see here we have like 6 families, and you have a shampoo and a conditioner for each family. You can see we have a copper, and the copper, of course, we can recommend for all kind of copper shades, golden copper or copper golden, depending on what kind of intensity you have. You have a golden for all kind of golden shades. It can also be used for, we can say, for our natural shades. If you want a little more warm to your natural shades, you could even use here the golden to give that a little more warm and sparkling to the color. Tobacco is for lighter brown shades, and also here the tobacco could also be used for natural hair colors if you want to give a little more warm to it, because the tobacco is slightly a bit warm compared to, example, the chocolate. The chocolate is for dark shades, so all kind of deeper shades that you want to have intensity of the reflex. And I will show you some ideas how it works actually in 2 minutes. Silver is for all the blondes, so those that want to stay really cool blondes, we recommend the silver for this. And finally, we have the red for all kind of red shades, and also the red is quite interesting because the red you can actually, I mean, all the conditioner you can make new shades with. In that sense, you can mix it up together with a neutral conditioner. But example, the red you could try to mix up with, example, a neutral conditioner. It could be Love conditioner since it's white. Mix a little bit of red into the white Love conditioner, and on really blonde hair, you can get this kind of like really pastel pink if that's what you want to create. In another way, if you put on pure red on blonde, you can get really flamingo red. So it's very interesting how it can be used in a classic way. It can also be used in a more creative way, those 6 shampoos and 6 conditioner. So how does it work? Use shampoo first with the shampoo, and after that you towel dry the hair and you apply your conditioner. You leave it on for 5 minutes, you comb, and then you rinse. Of course, if you leave it on for longer time, you prolong even the service on the hair. That means the intensity of the reflex. And you'll see here that in the next slides I will show you some of my colleagues that I have done for you guys, so you can see the difference, what actually the conditioner and the shampoo can do to the hair. Of course, as I said before, if you put the shampoo or the conditioner on previous lighted hair, you can actually change the reflex, which is quite interesting to see. Excuse me. So just to give you some idea what actually we can do with this product here. And I'll just see here, things like somebody's writing in the chat. Limited. How long do they last? It is Saranda asking here. Saranda, you have to think about it is conditioner and a shampoo. So of course it's a temporary color service. It's direct pigments. That means it's a bigger molecule. So it's just going to work on the cuticle, on the surface on the hair. They cannot penetrate into the cortex. So I will say if you continue with the shampoo and conditioner every day, they will last forever. In that sense, you keep refreshing. But example, if you just put on the conditioner, as I can show you here now on this picture here, where you can see on the left side, you see before, and this was my colleagues, and she's working in the office, and she had already an old copper color on the hair, but she had a regrow, and she also ends and lengths was a little bit dull. They were not so vibrant. So what we did here, literally, we take the copper shampoo, and then we applied 20 grams of a copper conditioner on towel dry hair. We left it for 20 minutes, and then we comb, and then we rinse. And you can see how you refresh the color here. So example, if I do that service, let's say in the salon, and the clients go home, but the clients don't use a shampoo with the copper and the conditioner at home, but she used maybe, let's say, a Nuno shampoo and Nuno conditioner. She will maybe have that for like 2 shampoos, maxi 3 shampoos, and then she's back to what she was like before. But if she now go home and she continue with the shampoo and conditioner at home, of course, she will prolong it. But have in mind again here, is not a color, it is a conditioner with pigments. So the longevity is very individual, on also depending on the porosity on the hair, of course. Okay. Next one you can see here that we have been doing. is the red shampoo that I use here, and you can see before and you can see after. And I took her out here in the sun because she is quite dark, my colleague here. She has very frizzy hair. She's natural curly. She never colored the hair, so it's all natural. And she's actually like a level 3 to a 4, but she's really cool. She had very cool reflex. She had no warm in the hair. So here we took 30 grams of the red conditioner on top of dry hair. We left it for 20 minutes and then we rinse. And you can see here now in the sun, you get actually a little bit more warmer reflex. But of course, I cannot expect to see an intense red because on a natural hair, I need to do a permanent color or I need to do a true toning. This is just a temporary conditioner that we can just go in and play with. But you can see here again, it can also be inspiration to you guys in the salon where you can actually I think we all know that we have those clients coming in exactly like this girl here that you see with the frizzy hair, curly hair. She never colored the hair. She don't know if she wants to color the hair. She may be not sure if she wants to be warmer. So this could be a nice way where you can play around with your conditioner and you can introduce them to kind of like an idea what they can expect to see if they do a color service. So sometimes I also think we have to consider that our conditioner can also be actually used as an introduction to the clients. Maybe they want to go in and do permanent hair colors. Another one you can see here is another colleague of mine where we had an old balayage on the hair and it's growing quite well out, as you can see here. So she has still some blondes coming through the ends and the lengths. So what we did here, we took the silver shampoo first and then I mixed the conditioner red and the silver conditioner. And you can see here I took 15 grams of the red conditioner and I used 40 grams of the silver and apply again on top of dry hair. I comb it through and rinse out and you can see you get this kind of like strawberry pink funky color going on the hair. In this case here, of course, since she had the blonde underneath, it probably gonna last a little bit longer. So even here, if she just go home and use, example, again, a Nunu shampoo and Nunu conditioner, she probably gonna have this one here for maybe 5 to 6 shampoos, depending on the porosity on the hair, and she will get back to her blondes again. But of course, if I maybe customize a conditioner, I could do that, right? So I could take a customize a red and a silver conditioner she could use at home, so she could continue at home. Then actually it could last until she stopped doing this service. So you see again here, it depending on the hair you're working on, the lightness, so how is your background you're going to apply it on, and what is actually they're going to use at home for home care. So this is a nice way we can customize things for the clients in this salon. This one here is also another colleague of mine. She have natural hair again here. As you can see here in Italy, I mean, I'm Danish as a background, so now I live in Italy, so it's so nice to see how, you know, our hair is so different coming from Scandinavia to Italy. So here again, we have a natural hair, but again, they have this kind of frizziness. It's have this kind of like dull, it's not so shiny. So here we just decide to actually just refresh the brown, to just do with the shampoo of the chocolate, and then the chocolate conditioner again here 20 minutes and rinse off, and then you can see the result here. But anyhow, you can still see here how a client that maybe never want to do a color service, she can actually just use a shampoo and conditioner to make a more insensitive to a natural reflex, and she's never committed to come back and have the color done again. So again, there's a lot of opportunity with the Alchemic line. So any questions about the classic Alchemic before we're gonna go into the creative conditioner from Alchemic, the new line? Just let me know. Seems you're all good. So the concept for the Alchemic Creative, of course, here we follow the same concept as Alchemic Classic, but of course here we come out with something new for the clients, and we want to have something that give clients a little bit more than maybe the expectation to conditioner they normally have maybe tried before. We also want to have something where we give more opportunity to the clients, so a little more creativity. They can choose or select a color that is more trendy, because the creative conditioner is more like a trend. And of course here, we also have the opportunity to mix them together. And of course here the clients, they can express themselves depending on what kind of conditioner they choose, depending also what kind of look they want to have. And we have a question here, I think. So in theory, you would mix them to new shades, like a gold with a little chocolate to make it darker gold. Yes, so a little bit, sorry guys, we're just gonna come back a little bit to the alchemic we have before the classic. Yes, you can mix all shades together. So if you want chocolate to be a little bit warmer, you could add a gold into it. But have again in mind, it is a little bit like when we're gonna mix color at home. Sorry, not at home, in the salon. So when we are mixing gold to the dark chocolate, we have to think about which reflex is stronger and which one is weaker. And the chocolate, since it's very dark, we need to so we need to take more gold and just a little bit of the chocolate, because otherwise the chocolate gonna take over. But in that case, if you want to have more like darker gold, then I will say probably you'll be better to mix your tobacco with your chocolate, because the tobacco is quite warm compared to chocolate. So I'm probably gonna mix my chocolate and my tobacco together if I want to have that. The same you can do again with the red example. You can take the gold and just add a little bit of red into your gold to create a new kind of like pink copper instead of have like an intense copper. So you again here you have many opportunity with this line with Alchemic, since you can actually customize things. And I would say the best way that I normally work with and discover what I want to put on the hair, especially on blondes example, I quite often, when I have done some bleaching on hair and I cut off maybe a nice piece of hair from this client, I keep those blonde in elastic, so I always have them in the back, and then you can go in there actually and you can start to play around when you don't have so much to do in the salon. Sometimes I start to make some shades together to see what will I get if I do this and this, because this is how we can actually have some fun with our products at home or in the salon. So yes, you can mix together as you want. So we were investigating what's going on in the market. You can see here now that we have a lot of young people now, they want to have more fun. Young people, they are like doing more experiment at home. So they want to change the color more often, and they also want to try new things more often. So they are more open to try different kind of opportunity at home. So that's why we come out now with the new Alchemic Creative Conditioner. You can see here there's 5 boxes here, and the 5 boxes of course connected to how many conditioner we have, because you have 5 conditioner in the new Creative Alchemic. You can use, of course, in the salon, you can use it at home, and you can use it for all kind of, we can say, creative cremation of the hair. You can also mix together the shades, and you can also here dilute the shades if you want to do that with a neutral conditioner from one of the other ranges inside Davines. The new creative conditioner we recommend to use from level 8 and above. So it means level 8, 9, 10 and bleach hair. Of course, if you want to have like more pastel shades, we all know now that of course we need to work on pre-lighted hair to see those kind of pastel shades. You can make everything inside here from very intense to very pastel shades, depending on how you work with the creative conditioner. This is the range you can see here. So we have a lavender, you find a pink, you find a tile, you find marine blue, and you find coral. Those are the 5 shades in the new creative conditioner that we have in the Alchemic. The features of the formula is jojoba oil. So also here we have no silicones. There is follow the same concept as Alchemic, as I said before. We have 98% are biodegradable ingredients and 95% are natural origin ingredients inside the conditioner. Direct pigments, of course. So as I said before, direct pigments, you have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, the direct pigments are bigger molecules, so they're going to work on the surface. They can never penetrate into the cortex example. They always work on your cuticle. Also here, the packaging, we follow the same concept again. It's CO2 neutral, and again, we use recycled plastic for the jars. Quantity of use, so you have in a jar of 250 ml, you will have from 4 to 12 application, of course, depending on the length of the hair. So have that in mind. That will always be very individual from clients to clients. So what kind of service could we do in the salon? So we have to think about now that a lot of clients, they are quite hungry to have the hair colored now when we hopefully soon can start to get back to the salons. So this is something you could actually maybe start to also think about when you open up the salon, because we all are very curious about what will happen with our business. How much will the clients like to spend, and so on, because we all know that when there is something like a lockdown, that can also come a crisis, right? So we need to think about actually how we still can maybe get some money from the clients without they have to be too expensive. So this could be another way you actually could start to think about gaining a little bit more money and in a short time, because you don't need so much time actually when you do this service in the salon. So example, if you want to do a pastel toning, so this will be from level 8 and up, but I would say when you want to see pastel shades, remember it have to be on really blonde hair, because if the hair is maybe on level 8, it's not going to be pastel. There'll be too many pigments of the natural pigments in the hair to make it pastel. So we need to have some really blonde shades, okay? But you can again here take the Alchemic Creative Conditioner, and you can take a white, so a neutral conditioner, and mix together, and you can create your own pastel shades. The best way, when I normally do my pastels for shows or seminars, I simply mix them together in a bowl. So always, I don't take a lot of the conditioner with pigments. I just take a slight amount. And the way I do it, after I mix it together, I take a white piece of paper and I brush a little bit on the white piece of paper. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, just to see what kind of intensity I will see from my pastel, because what happens quite often is we're adding too many pigments, and when we apply it on the hair, we don't see the pastel anymore. It becomes a little too intense. So remember, pastel is where you just have a little bit of pigments and more of neutral conditioner. Then you can, of course, blend pastels. So here we can, of course, go in here and make example. It could be the coral. I could take the coral by itself on the root area, and then through the ends and lengths, I could take the coral and mix together with a neutral conditioner to make it fading and make it more pastel out through the ends and the lengths. Tone and treat, as you can see here. What we also can do here, example, if you have like a hair, clients coming to the salon and they maybe have quite damaged hair, you could do a nice treatment. It could be a Naturtech from the New Nourishing family, or it could be an on protection beautifying treatment you could do on the hair. So the way example, last year I spent a lot of time in India because we launched all the well-being system from Davines in India last year. And there actually what we did, we took the on protection and made a beautifying treatment. On protection is where you take 12 ml of on protection, 70 ml of water, you mix it together and you apply it after the shampoo. You apply it all over the hair and you leave it for 10 minutes. Then you remove the excess amount of water that is on the hair. And normally I do that with a towel. And then you could take your Alchemic Creative Conditioner and you could apply it through the ends and lengths on top of your unprotecting beautifying treatments, and you leave it for 5 minutes and then you rinse off, and then you have done a restructuring treatment for the hair, so reconstruct the cortex and the cuticles, and then we finish with a refreshing of the color or intensity of the reflex if you want to play a little bit around this way here. That could be a tone and treat example. Creativity, of course, here. You can also blend the different kind of conditions together, as you can see here. So you could, for example, the lavender on the roots, and then you could take the coral out to the ends and the lengths. So again, here you could make some funky ideas for the clients. You can also tailoring the toning for the clients. So you can even here work with foils. You can put in different kind of shades. And then, of course, here we can customize, again, the service inside the salon. Fast color service, you can see here, that's how fast you actually can see. So if you go from the left side, you can see this is after we have done the shampoo, there is a kind of like, we can say it's like a gold shade, maybe slightly gold copper. There is on the previous hair here. It could also be as natural. I don't know because I have not done this model here. And then you can see here we apply the coral conditioner for 5 minutes, and then you can see the end result. So it's really fast service you can do in the salon. It doesn't need to take long time. And this again, of course, the clients, he can repeat at home and do exactly the same. So a question here. Thanks for the tip. You're very welcome, Letitia. There is also in your brochure, if you have a brochure in the salon, you can see here that we have the 5 creative conditioner, and you can see the level. So you can see on the top there's a level, so a level 7, and then if you go against the clock, you can see how it become lighter, so level 8, level 9, level 10, and then on bleach here, so you can have an idea what kind of effect it's gonna give you when you have put over the coral. So you can see the base in the into the center of the triangle, and the larger the triangle will become, you can see that the end result you will see on level, example level 8, you can see that it's not going to be so light, it'll be more darker because we have just a level 8. But this is just again a way to have an idea what kind of expectation you can see after you've done the service. We had amazing feedback on already, so like very usable colors, love the pink, beautiful result in a short time, love the color creativity with no limits, marvelous colors, good creativity tool, easy to use, and again the clients can do it at home, which is also very important because mainly a lot of people they want of course to do this service at home. I also want to give you a recommendation because this is very important, because the creative conditioner is a temporary service you can do in the salon, but they can last very, very long time. Okay, so just some tips and tricks for you guys. If you have applied, example, tile on the hair and lasting too long time, we recommend to remove it that you're going to use soda shampoo a few times to remove as many pigments as possible, and then you can make a bleach bath to remove the last pigments. Okay, the way to do a bleach bath is you're going to take 1 part of the Century Light. It's a classic bleaching powder we have in Davines. 1 part of the bleaching powder, 1 part of water, and you take 1 part of Nunu shampoo. So 1, 1, 1, you mix it together and you shampoo it into the hair where you have the colors that you want to remove. This is very important to you also do it this way. Don't put a activator because gonna go faster, it's gonna remove it better way. No, it actually gonna burn the pigments into the hair. So don't put an activator into the bleach bath, okay? Then of course, to be sure that you have an idea what you're gonna end up with, always again do a strand test. So we discovered that some hairdressers, they are doing those treatments in the salon because they want them to be very intense, they want them to last a long time. But you have to think about, even though it's a direct molecule, they are very intense because you can even see that marine blue can give you really blue color and so on. So especially when you apply it to the client's hair in the salon, or you recommend for the client to use it at home, it's better to do it on towel dry hair than to put it on dry hair. If you, example, take the tile or the marine blue, you put it on dry hair and you leave it on for 20 minutes, the pigment's gonna really attach to the hair. And in that case, it can be very hard to get rid of them again. Then you need to do again soda shampoo, and then you need to do a bleach bath. Okay, so have that in mind, that always please use it on towel dry hair, because when you put it directly on dry hair, because you want to see a lot of intensity, you want to last forever, I tell you it will last forever. So please have that in mind when you use the conditioner. So let's see here, there is some questions. Is there a difference in result between the formula and the shine wash formula? No, they are very similar, so you can do the same. You can even do a shine wash Arturo, that'll be okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was my introduction to the Alchemic today. I hope you have enjoyed today's class. If you have more questions, of course, yeah, I'm still gonna stay here for a few seconds, so you can still write in the chat if you want to know more. But again, as I said before, the creative conditioner, they're very intense. So remember, when you're gonna talk with the clients about that, we recommend to apply it on a towel dry hair. Okay, don't put it on dry hair. I mean, you can, of course, but they can be hard to get rid of again. Okay, so this is very important. So I'd like to say thank you to Melanie. Merci. hope you had a good time. And also to Saranda, thank you to joining us today. And thank you, of course, to all of you for joining the class today here in the Davines virtual classroom. And this afternoon at 5 o'clock Italy time, I will talk about a single shampoo if you want to join the class. And again, on the Davines education, you can see the rest of the classes for the rest of the week. And of course, you're very welcome to join us here online in Davines virtual classroom. Okay.